If you've not done it yet, take a second and leave us a 5-star review here on The RR Show. We'd be ever so grateful. I am Vince, your host, and we've got a few more episodes with Andy here on Mondays. This is a subreddit we don't travel into often, so kind of a special episode from r/ChoosingBeggars. Dreamer of the Sky is the user. Bride wants me to create her entire wedding art for exposure.
Okay, this happened a few years ago, but I thought you all might get a kick out of it. Back when blogs were the bomb, and the Book of Faces was not so popular as they are today. A bride wanted me to create her wedding art. In the past, she'd purchased a few things from me before she'd gotten engaged. Some small paintings, signs, fun stuff. When she would come to my studio to pick up the work, we would chat. I'm super friendly. We would chit-chat a bit, exchange money for art, and then she'd go on her way. That's it. For her wedding art, she had big, grandiose plans. She wanted wedding signs, table centerpieces, gifts for the wedding party, gifts for her parents and in-laws, gifts for her guests. Roughly 100 people for a big old barn wedding. 20 bridal party people. Then her family and in-laws were another 8 people in total. She would also like a big painting of the barn she is getting married in for her home. Thomas Kincaid style. With the wedding date on the art piece, naturally. Roughly 30 by 46, if not bigger. She had the wall space for it. She really did like my art. Oh yeah. And she'd like me to do all of this for the exposure of the event. No money, just exposure. She was a PR person, so her big plan was to blog the entire wedding process. Oh, to hear her tell it was going to be fabulous. An in-depth and behind the scenes of the wedding of the decade, which would include her finding the dress, exercise program for her and the bridesmaids, moving in with her fella, getting a dog, me making art for the wedding, her mother and father coming together after a painful divorce for her wedding. A blah. Seriously, she was looking at a tab of maybe $8,000 of work out of me, and I was gonna be a blurb on a blog of her wedding extravaganza. The dog was gonna get its own page. She blew a fuse when I declined. I mean, exposure's nice, but paying the light bill is nicer. She had a big old bride meltdown too. Cried, wailed, screamed and snarled. At one point, she made that sound a tea kettle does when it's ready. I don't know how she did that, but it was impressive. Not to be defeated, she had her mommy call me, had her daddy call me, and her sister call me. All screamed at me for denying her my art and time. I don't think anyone has ever said no to her before. Can you get to the age of 25 and not hear the words no? I know I sure did not. For a while there, I thought no was my first name. I told them in short to fuck off, but I said it all mean professional like. They pestered me for about a month before they finally took the hint. I never blocked them. I just let them rant to my voicemail. It drove them even crazier. She did invite me to the wedding though. Aw, how sweet. No +1 though. Ceremony only, no reception. Then she told me I could make the centerpieces and the large painting as her gift. Yeah, a loophole. A lucky me. I passed, sent nothing as a gift. We're not friends. I'm not going to a dingbat wedding. Thanks. But if I was to be honest, I kind of wanted to go. I did. I really wanted to dress in my art studio ripped jeans / t-shirt outfit. The crap that if my mum saw me wear, she would tell me I looked like a hobo. Then, once she saw me, I had this dream of handing her a $5 gift card to Starbucks while I cracked a beer and walked away. But hey, She wasn't worth the gas to get to the ceremony. Why bother? Much better to just stay home. In the end, I heard about 50 people showed up to the wedding, as she and her family was driving everyone nuts. It also rained on a wedding day too. Big, fat rain too. The run-to-your-house deluge kind. Not all day, but enough to make the barn leak a bit. So it was a muddy, gross day that was unseasonably cold to boot. That must have been fun to hang out in with a cash bar, huh? I never checked her blog out. A mutual acquaintance said it was a single page with a few pictures, not nearly the fantastic real-life expose of a young bride I was promised. Think more like school project that you got a C for. The acquaintance also told me the wedding photographer was a no-show because she did not pay them in advance. Yeah, she asked for a discount too. She never paid the upfront fee, so the photographer cancelled on the event. The entire ceremony was recorded by the guests' iPhones. I think they were iPhones. They were the early video phones for sure. Oh, and you'll love this. She asked for a discount from the caterer because only half the people showed up. So I guess she felt like only paying for half the food. I'm not sure how that worked out in her mind. She didn't get that, of course. I know the caterer. She was paid in advance and she does not do refunds. She will also not give you the time of day if you annoy her. I like her. The bride was divorced within a year. Hubby left her for one of her friends. I think she was one of the bridesmaids. Don't quote me on that though. All I know is she came home to the dog and all his stuff gone. He also took my art with him. You know, the stuff she purchased from me before she got engaged. I guess they both liked me. It's been years since the big wedding. My days of doing wedding art are long behind me as I now sell in galleries and such. She still calls me from time to time for art. She hears the prices I quote and then offers me half. The other half will go to a paid promotion on social media. I decline. She's marked in my phone as "Do not answer." So, this is a short one from Mr. Confidence. Can't I have something better? No? I'll leave my number so you can get back to me when you change your mind. Very presumptuous of you, sir. So this literally just happened. I own a bedding franchise and I have a popular adjustable package, mattress and base with remote to raise and lower the head and feet, etc. There's a lot of residents in the area purchase, generally for retirement villages, assisted living facilities. I organized with one of the suppliers to do a giveaway, where they would sell me the package at a discounted price so I could do a giveaway for the community. Entry had no purchase necessary. Anyway, I pulled a customer's name out and advised them that they had won the package, average sale price is $2,500, and to come into the store to organize a delivery. Anyway, when she arrived, she complained to a staff member that she doesn't need another bed, and can't she swap it for something better of the same price or just have cash? I explained to her that it was a promotion run with the manufacturer, so unfortunately it was just the one prize. She then wrote her number on a card and told us to give her a call when we changed our minds. I gave her a call to advise her it was just the one prize, and she responded with, "Well, I'm not sure I want it then. Don't do anything with it for a few days and I'll make some calls to find someone who will take it." I am livid. I can't see myself doing any more community giveaways in the future. This next one, I love this username, is from Hyacinth0788. Previous employer wants me to drive to office to sign documents they need, as it is too costly for them to drive to my place. Hey everyone, I wanted to share my experience of a choosing beggar at my previous job. If you don't think it belongs here, let me know. So I had resigned from my job back in November, giving the 1 month required notice. As part of my job, I occupy certain positions for clients that the company which I worked for serviced, and some of these required the regulator's approval for any replacement. It may take some time, So I agreed to remain on these for around 3 to 4 weeks after my last day at the company. I was doing it without any benefit or pay. I also pointed out to them that I'll be busy at my new job and may not be available for signatures, hence they should replace me ASAP. Despite this, they took all their time to seek approval. Around 2 weeks after my last day, I got a call from one of the staffs working there saying they need my signature in wet ink on a document which was urgent. My new job was in the same area as the old one, but we were working from home. I was going to the office on the day after and we agreed that I'll drop by to sign the document. Unfortunately, someone had tested positive in my new job who had been to the office. Hence, the building was shut down for the next few days to sanitize. I informed the staff and requested him to arrange for the dispatch person to drop by at my place or have a taxi drop it off. This is reasonable as my new job regularly does this for docs to be signed in original. The staff checked with the relevant department and they said that I live quite far from the office, so they cannot arrange for the dispatch person to drive there and a taxi will cost too much. FYI, I live around 30 to 40 minutes away. They requested that during my lunchtime, I drive there to sign the document or meet them halfway. I was very annoyed and basically told them, "You need the document, not me. I'm not gaining anything from this." I also said that I do not work there and I'm just doing this as a favor, and that for them it is too costly to send someone to my place. But then, for what reason should I use up my petrol for their benefit? They eventually sent someone to get the document signed. I never realized people could be this way. This one is in from Sky Moogle. Give me my senior coffee, even though I am not a senior. For this story, let's do the setting first. I work at a fast food restaurant. I have seen my fair share of choosing beggars, often not too bad. They just want something extra, or something we don't have anymore and they get mad about it. Like I said, it isn't too bad for what I've experienced so far. But this one guy really takes the cake. We offer coffee at a reduced price for people over the age of 65. That's just a little extra we like to do for the seniors. So this guy, let's call him John Doe. I don't even know his name. He came in one day and he was standing behind one of these seniors and heard he only paid the reduced price. John Doe was surprised when he needed to pay the full price. Mind you, John Doe is nowhere near 65. I explained to him why this was and how it works. He went off about how ridiculous it was that he had to pay full price because he was a hard-working citizen and these elderly people do nothing else other than sit around the entire day. Meanwhile, the senior was still standing there while John Doe went on with this angry speech with some colourful language thrown in there. It was almost embarrassing. Then he threatened to come back with a lawyer and he would sue us. "I'm sure I'll win because this is discrimination," John Doe said. But off he went with his coffee and his newspaper. It took a while, but he eventually came back. Of course, without his lawyer. But again, he went on this rant how unfair it was he had to pay full price. John Doe explained how he went to another restaurant, which also belonged to the same franchise of mine, and he got coffee there for the reduced price. I once again explained to him that I can't do it, because those are simply the rules I have to follow. He told me he knew the supervisor of our restaurant, and my supervisor had promised him that he would always get his coffee at the reduced price. Next time, John Doe said he would have talked to my supervisor, and my supervisor would put me in my place. Now, I'm not an idiot. So after this happened, and upper management came in for the day, I went to them and explained the situation. They said, no, he has to pay full price, he isn't 65. Luck would have it that my supervisor came on that same day, and I told him about John Doe. The supervisor said, I don't give coffee at a reduced price to non-seniors, and even if I did, it would have been a one-time deal. A few months went by without ever seeing John Doe. Then our other restaurant closed down because they were rebuilding the place, so John Doe showed his face again at our place yesterday. Before even trying to order a coffee, he tried to recruit a senior to buy him a coffee so he would get it at a reduced price. The senior said he would. So the senior ordered himself a coffee and an extra coffee. I had noticed this and I let the senior have his coffee at the reduced price, but the other coffee at full price. So John Doe begrudgingly gave the senior extra cash so he could cover the entire cost. Afterwards, when John Doe left, I went to the senior and I explained the situation and how John Doe had been acting towards us. The senior already had a feeling something was going on, because he's a regular customer and he knows me normally as a friendly type. Well, today, John Doe showed up again, and once again he tried to recruit the same senior to buy him coffee. The senior explained to him he wouldn't do that and told him why. So John Doe was mad and demanded to speak to me. So when I showed up at the front desk, he once again went on a rant about how he knew my supervisor and he always got his coffee at a reduced price at the other place and how ridiculous it is now that the other place is temporarily closed that he has to pay full price at our restaurant. I told him I spoke to my upper management and my supervisor and they both told me he had to pay full price. Then he really exploded. "You're calling me a liar? I'll go now to the other place and I'll tell them what happened here, and when I come back, you better watch yourself." Somehow he still bought his coffee. This time I was just done with him, especially because the other place is still closed for another week, so tomorrow he's gonna be here again. So I once again told my upper management what happened and how the guy had been acting. They were firm and said he has to pay full price, and if he doesn't like it and goes off again, you kick his ass out. Meanwhile, they began to contact the supervisors at the other restaurants. And then, the big twist comes. Turns out, the other restaurant, he does get his coffee at a reduced price. However, the current upper management there doesn't know how or why it's done, because it happened before they were there. So when I heard this, I felt my stomach drop. I knew he'd be back tomorrow to yell at me again, and they're gonna tell me I need to give it to him at a reduced price. But no, I had it wrong. My supervisors told us that he would not get his coffee at a reduced price. Furthermore, the other restaurant is now also gonna refuse to give it him at a reduced price. My upper management will be in before opening tomorrow to handle this guy, if he turns up. So I wonder how that will end. But there, you see, if he just accepted the full price without going off on one, he might still have his coffee at a reduced price at the other place. Now he's got to pay full everywhere.
So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.